Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, so this is a reading about identity. I have a handmade card. It says the way you act under pressure is the real you. Somebody else had to learn who you were, but at the same time, you had to go through an experience where you had to learn something unique about self. If I had to describe the type of pressure that is showing up in this reading, we are talking literally about the energy of death. And so just to describe the first part of the reading, we're talking about a love affair or some type of interconnectedness. When we think of love affairs, we think of something romantic. We think of something sexual, typically not between married people or people that live together. But this is like some type of emotional intensity that links to people. If it's not that, then this is just about you being in interconnectedness, you having a human connection, recognizing the importance of connections, because listen, you support me, I support you. Our relationship is mutually beneficial. That could have been a friend, a coworker, or a family member. Nonetheless, you are connected to others. I have a handmade card. It says we grow in tough times, not easy times. The way this connection unfolded would have been a tough time for you, but it is also a time where it provided you a lot of growth. Now, on one aspect of this relationship during its unfolding, there could have been feelings of self-pity, guilt, regret, stagnation, and depression. If you had to look at how you were sitting right now, you are enjoying the silence. And though the situation that was tough, the situation that grew you, that is a situation of the past. But the only reason why I'm talking about it is because whoever you were connected to has just come to a state of awareness. You're coming up as somebody who is enjoying the silence. When I say enjoying the silence, I mean emotionally. Listen, at some point, this connection could have caused you some type of turmoil, like literally within you. You weren't able to control your emotions. Maybe there was sadness, maybe there was crying, but it was a lot that you had to overcome. Right now, you are sitting in the energy of having found peace. You are satisfied. You enjoy the quiet moments. There's no noise. There's no distractions. Like there's nothing that is making your internal waters rough and choppy. So you grew through this. It may not have been easy, but you grew. Now, whoever you had to grow alongside when you were in that connection, the problem is because they considered you to be GMO. So you are coming out in this reading as somebody who is non-GMO. In order to explain what I mean by that, the Danish folktale comes up called the nightingale. So I'm going to explain this really quickly, but there's an emperor. There's a Chinese emperor in the story, the nightingale. A lot of people have visited his palace. A lot of people have visited his lands. And the one thing that everybody is talking about is the song of the nightingale that they heard when they were in the emperor's gardens. The emperor is pissed because he didn't know there was a nightingale. And so his first time hearing about it is by reading pretty much the reviews on Yelp about people's trip. OK, and so he's like, what is this nightingale? Like, bring it to me. Like, I want to hear it. I want to see it. So the nightingale agrees to go to the palace and sing to the emperor. When the nightingale starts to sing to the emperor starts to cry. At some point, the emperor decides, you know what? I'm just going to keep you. Like, you are going to be the official. I literally think the emperor gave the nightingale, like it was supposed to sing the emperor to sleep every night. But this is a real bird. This is a bird that is alive. This is a bird that is natural. It is organic. And so in the emperor's mind, it's like, if I request a song, you're supposed to sing. If I need you to do something to soothe me or to appease me, you're supposed to do it. Well, the nightingale could not be programmed. At some point, the emperor receives a gift in the mail. This is a mechanical nightingale, but it is gold and it is glittery and it is flashy and it has jewels and it is everything that the emperor wants. Now, the real nightingale sings about 30 songs, but you never know which track it's going to sing because it's just got to feel it. It's got to be natural. This is something that is organic. OK, but the mechanical nightingale, this thing has one song. This is like a one-trick pony, but it's a beautiful pony. And so every single night, it even said one time The emperor had the mechanical nightingale sing the only song it could sing 30 times in one day. And so this is about a comparison. The relationship where you are now sitting in peace and somebody is really able to understand you. This is about somebody needing to learn the lesson of duality. And so when somebody looked at you, maybe they thought that you had value. They could see your gift, but you couldn't be programmed because you're natural, you're authentic. And if you're not feeling it, if it is not normal, and if it is not you, you are not going to do it. Now, somebody gets something that is similar to you. So this is like a counterfeit. This is a copycat. This is a clone. And maybe it sings like you. You sing 30 songs, but they're not on demand or command. This other thing sings one song, but it sings whenever you want. It sings how you want. It'll sing to you before bed. It'll sing to you in the morning. And guess what? Aesthetically, it is beautiful. Aesthetically, you can see the value. Y'all, well, the problem comes because the mechanical nightingale at some point breaks, and the emperor don't know how he's going to get to sleep without the song from the nightingale, right? And so over a period of time, after the mechanical nightingale breaks down, the emperor literally starts to lose life force, like literally starts to get sick to the point of death. One night, the emperor's servants left him in the room, really thinking that when they returned in the morning, he was going to be dead. Well, in the process of them leaving, the real nightingale, the non-GMO nightingale, returns to the window and starts to sing to the emperor. In that moment, it is almost like the emperor went through a period of restoration, like his heart, his spirit, he was getting his life force back. And so when his servants come in the next day, they think they're going to find him dead. And he's like doing jumping jacks and somersaults, like he is back. And it is because the nightingale, the real nightingale, had the ability to restore. And so the same connection that may have been tough, that you had to grow through, that for a period of time could have brought you some type of emotional turmoil, it was almost like some shit you had to wait on. Like sometimes people are not going to be able to perceive you in the very beginning. They got to wait until they feel a certain amount of pressure. But also, the emperor put a lot of pressure on that mechanical nightingale, meaning you can have a fake you. You can have a copycat and a counterfeit, and it could do damn near exactly what you can do. But when the pressure starts to apply, you start to see what is real. Y'all, there was somebody else that could have been chosen or picked over you or deemed as having more value. Not only that, in this reading, I had the energy of fruits of offense. So like, it's one thing if you don't choose me. It's one thing if you are not going to pick me. And if you don't see my, you don't punish people for not recognizing your value, but it is in the way that they communicate. It is the way that they respect you. Not choosing a person is not a reason to disrespect them. But this reading says not only did they choose not to choose you, but there were fruits of offense. This connection caused a lot of hurt, anger, outrage, and unforgiveness. And so this taught you about the duality of people. We have rumors, abuse, judgment, psychological projection. Y'all, so not only did somebody think that someone was a better choice, but it's like they dragged you verbally and energetically, like they did the most. Like, just pick who you want to be with and shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? And you may not have ever have known that somebody was almost kicking your back in, right? Because you didn't show up or perform in the way that would have suited them best. But y'all, what happens when the mechanical nightingale breaks down and now you can't get the sleep? Now you don't have a sweet sound throughout your day. And so this is where you understand the difference between the real and the fake. And so when the emperor is experiencing death, the only thing that could restore his soul was something pure, something real. And so the moral of that experience with whatever this love affair or this connection was, this is the thing that you are enjoying exists no more. Like, you're fine that this has come to an end because you grew. You have made peace with what was tough. Maybe you needed to understand and learn the dual nature of people. Maybe you had to understand that, listen, my sound is my sound. The way I express myself, the way I create, the way I open my heart and connect with others is my way. Even if you can't receive it, it doesn't mean that I don't have anything worth offering, okay? Y'all, it's almost like the emperor comes back to look for you. Comes back to look for you when the very thing that they deemed was better than you starts to break down to the point of no return. And now it's like, I just want to hear that sound again. I just want to hear that song again. And it's not really, it doesn't got to be a song or a sound. This is about a frequency. This is about an energetic experience. And so you're sitting in the energy of enjoying silence. Somebody else is finally getting to the point where they have to honor what is ending. But the problem is that they were coveting something that they thought superficially was better. Right? So not only do you lose what you loved, but the thing that you loved wasn't shit anyway. Y'all, that's like two lessons. That's like two birds, one stone, right? You shouldn't have been idolizing something so much that you felt it was okay to disrespect another. But you also idolized something that really had no value, like you threw away the real treasure. But certain people have to wait until the pressure is applied. And then you got to see how the real shows up. Then you got to see how the fake shows up. And when the performance is done, there's no denying who you really are. So somebody is recognizing who you really are. And it is about them being in the energy of death, recognizing that only you have the ability to sing it away. Y'all, so that's the first part of the reading. The other energy of death that you experienced, this comes out as the nine of wands. So this is about you being resilient and persistent in how you have been weathering battles. This is saying that you have gone through some impossible tasks and have still remained hopeful. So my handmade card says, the next time you feel worthless, ask yourself if you are just in the wrong place. So this is about you literally being in the energy of death. Now, to describe this one, there's a Russian fairy tale called Vasilisa the Beautiful. This kind of like mimics the Cinderella story for me. So we have a father and a daughter. Vasilisa's mother has died, and so the father remarries again. The woman he remarries becomes her stepmother, but she also comes with two daughters of her own. The stepmother and the daughters treat Vasilisa like shit, but Vasilisa is like beautiful inside and out. Well, one day they crank it up a notch. The house is lit by fire lanterns. The stepmother turns out all the lanterns in the house. It's pitch black. Vasilisa comes home and the stepmother is like, hey, we need some fire. Do you mind going to Baba Yaga's house and borrowing some fire so we can light our lanterns? Vasilisa, obedient, is like, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, here's the thing. Baba Yaga is a whole damn witch. Baba Yaga lives in the woods in a house on top of two tall ass chicken legs. It's almost like a house on stilts, but they're not poles. They're actual chicken legs. Fine. Vasilisa goes to Baba Yaga's. Baba Yaga has a track record. Baba Yaga has a rap sheet. Most people that cross paths with Baba Yaga are never to be seen again. And so the real plan of the stepmother is that Vasilisa would finally meet her fate. But this is the thing, sometimes people have decided something over your life based on how they perceive you or based on how they feel about you. I don't like you. I don't think you have worth. I don't think you have value. So I am going to send you into positions and situations that reveal exactly how I feel about you. So she sends Vasilisa to her death. Vasilisa goes to Baba Yaga's. Before midnight, Baba Yaga gave Vasilisa a series of tasks that were almost impossible. Every single task Vasilisa did perfectly, to the point that Baba Yaga was impressed, right? So guess what? Normally, she was about to be a victim. She was going to be Baba Yaga's victim. She was going to be held captive. Her performance was so impressive that Baba Yaga set her free. Not only did she set her free, she sent her home with a souvenir. She gave her a souvenir, y'all. Baba Yaga represents death. This is like your greatest hater putting you in a situation where they knew in their soul that you would die. You show up, hang out with death, accomplish a few tasks that death didn't think you were going to be able to accomplish. You become besties. Y'all get wrist tats. And when you leave, death sends you home with a souvenir. Well, Vasilisa takes the lantern home, or the magical fire that Baba Yaga gave her, and sets the whole house on fire. Stepmom, stepsisters, whatever, everybody dead. Okay? So that is a second encounter with death. This is about somebody trying to send you to a fate. But the fate that they try to put you in is how they feel about you. But that is not what is on you. That is not who you are. That is not a reflection of your worth and your value. But y'all, do you understand? Like, this part of the reading literally says that even when you are sitting amongst death or in death, you have the ability to be fertile. Y'all, when Vasilisa was accomplishing, I think one of the tasks that Baba Yaga asked Vasilisa to accomplish was she had to separate grains of wheat and dirt. Like impossible shit, y'all. Like, do you understand me? Separating sand and separating like grains of wheat or something like that. And she did it flawlessly. Y'all, the fact that you are fertile, the fact that you are able to produce, you can form, you can devise a plan, you can come up with an idea. The fact that you have access to a fertile mind, even when you are in a situation that you are not supposed to come out of, is a reflection of who you are. And so this reading is saying there were 2 times where you were in tough situations. It was never supposed to be easy, but you were absolutely supposed to grow. The first situation where you thought it was some type of mutual or beneficial partnership, you recognize that this person is two-faced as hell. Duality, right? Listen, this person said everything twice. Whatever this person was saying or doing behind your back, and I really think it was behind your back because we're talking about duality. And so there's the version of them that they show you, and then there's the version of them that they show everybody else. Whatever was done behind your back, it was enough to give you a cornucopia of fruits. We're talking about fruits of offense, meaning this person gave you a lot of hurt. They gave you so many reasons to carry unforgiveness. Whatever they said and did, it was enough to bring you to states of anger and outrage. That was pressure. And after all of that pressure, you still sang. You were still able to open your heart and to express and to, sometimes people want to break you down so bad that you don't ever think about loving again. You don't want to look at nobody. You want to talk to nobody. You don't want to create anything. Like, sometimes that is the point. It is to bring death to your gift, death to your sound, death to your voice. But the reality is that whatever they chose over you, it had an expiration. It was never going to be able to take. Can you imagine getting to the point of death and recognizing that the thing that you killed energetically or emotionally is the only thing that could bring you life in that moment? Like longing for the very thing that you shunned. Y'all, that's a shitty situation, but that's where the emperor was in that story. When the real pressure came, the emperor understood who he was. He recognized how far that mechanical nightingale could really take him. And then he could only remember the nightingale that he first met, that brought a tear to his eye when he first heard it sing. So y'all, somebody sent you to a situation of death. Somebody experienced a death that they brought on themselves and recognized that only you can make it go away. But unfortunately, this is a situation where everybody just needs to honor what is ending. Honor what is ending. I feel like eyes are on you. Even when you are put in a situation where all odds are against you, you are still fertile. You know how to clean. You know how to charge. You know how to activate. You can sit in death energy and turn the energy of death into a sacred space. You can sit in death energy and tap into your magic. You can sit in the energy of death and work with the elements. Y'all, so that is the reading. Let me see. Yes. So it's about, listen, the connection with the person that may have chose somebody or overlooked you. It may have been, obviously it was for superficial and aesthetic reasons. It could have been because your material possessions just weren't up to par. It could have been because your appearances, your physical appearance. But guess what? You change. Looks are fleeting. The way we look is not going to last forever. So to choose somebody based on something that could change in a moment, y'all, we could have any type of tragedy. And it could forever change the way we look. It could change our appearance. It could change our mobility, right? And so this is a situation where somebody may have thought that they were elevated. And the reason why they thought they were above you is because of what they physically had, because of how they aesthetically look. But when you get in that pressure and you recognize that nothing that I physically saw on, like the thing that you put all your stock and value in can't help or take away whatever you're enduring, that is a hard place. That is a hard place to exist in. And so I feel like you taught. This is like a double. I feel like you were conquering death simultaneously in a variety of different ways. But each time you were showing up authentic, pure, true, humble, balanced. Like you always showed up as a natural beauty. You always showed up authentically, right? And it's really about you being genuine and you having a heartfelt song. All right, y'all, for real, I'm done. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.